Perfect. So this is a good one. And what we're looking at here is, so we got bone mountain here, where this usually jams up that way. So we go right underneath it to this edge, and we look for the spot that brings the toe to go that way. So about right there. So that will go down, and then we'll go that way a little bit. See how it gives you this the space?
Mm-hmm.
So all we're looking at is to kind of find that spot, and then you just grip here and here. You just twist, and then now you twist this. This is stabilized, neutral, straight. Then you just come up in here, and you just see how this moves there.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that. It's right at this spot. So all we're doing now is we're just pushing. We're basically using this thumb to pull, this to push, and this one just to basically stabilize. That's about it. And then you're basically just holding this, and then you basically just drive this up. Because remember, this inside edge is called the extensor hallucis longus. So this is the pulls up it.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically want to take him and say, hey, we want to stretch you out individually. And let him come across there. And then we go back under here to that same guy that pulls across. And then now these are our two. Because if we pull this one, he'll rotate in and go up. This one, he'll go back and down. So these are your two counters right now of the fighting issues. So now let's do it on the not functional bunion, or the one that's starting to hurt. So this one, because of it, actually you're getting, if you notice here, feel how this is nice and kind of smooth ligament.
Mm-hmm.
This one is actually almost a little bit jammed. If you can almost see how that's slightly angled that way, that slight angle tells us that it's called the deltoid ligament here,
mm-hmm.
that is actually pulling this up. So we actually, for this one, have to start a little higher. We really want to twist it to get this to be compressed. We pull this down. And then we just make a little bit of space there. Yeah, this one definitely has a little bit more scar tissue built up in here. That little click we got.
Mm-hmm.
That's mainly the whole click you're looking for.
Okay.
And notice it literally took me, I held the thumb and I just swooped up and it went in.
Mm-hmm.
This is the equivalent of if you were to go to a chiropractor, they just will pop it in for you. So I think you just need to be able to figure out how to do that. So how we do that on your own foot. So bring this up to your knee-ish or whatever's comfortable-ish. And basically I'll show you on mine. Stretch. Okay, so thumb there, basically just gripping this, and you're just going to slide up. Yep. And then you're basically just going to pull the toe out. And that's pretty much it. And then if you want to do a little bit of pressure that way, obviously it won't click again right now, because you've already got it to click.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the whole thing. Once we get to click, that means that you're going to stop building bone spurs there. And then after you do that, after you get that click, the click can also be as simple as you put a thumb there and a thumb at this inside edge. You just pull. That will get the click more often than not too, where usually you're pushing on this one and you're pulling this up, because this is where the joint is giving that fatigue. So you basically just push into that, pull this up, and then now you stabilize this joint, and then we kind of can work back. If the bone mountain starts to get more grumpy, you just do a little bit more of a twist, and then you do a gentle tug to see if you get a little bit of traction here. But that's really it. That's the whole. Bunion is not a complicated thing, because you're in a state of prevention right now. You don't have a huge bone spur growth.
Right.
You don't have a huge thing. You don't have a need to show up to see me twice a week, for example, to have me pop it back in consistently. Especially because yours is as simple as rub your thumb along it and just pop it back in. Because all it is this joint has to basically not do this weird angle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All you're doing is saying, hey, if I can give a little bit of space here, and then pop it over. If you can work on a car, you can work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the whole simple thing about this. And then I want you to start to just poke from here through there and see if you can see your big toe lift. See if you can kind of find the spot that makes that big toe shift immediately. There it is. Yep, there it is. That's the one. So that's your main spot. So if you can find that one just on a daily basis, whether it's with your thumb, whether you put a ball, you roll your ball on it, whether you want to go outside and rub it on a tree trunk. I don't care how you do it, but you could just getting pressure on that, because that is the tendon that is pulling too hard on this sesamoid bone, which is causing the angle to shift.
Okay.
And then, so if you just hold that one, and then hold that one again, and that's really about it. They have bunion correctors that will hold you in this position.
I brought one. I brought the one that just to see if it was like the right thing that I need to get or whatever.
As long as it's, the one you have over there is perfect.
Okay.
But what I would do is every day you're going to put it on, do what we're just talking about. So kind of hit this one, let it calm down, get a little traction, and then pop it. Because you will get a pop, like probably every day. You might even get it every hour for all I know. I don't know how fast yours comes back. But I mean, it's a simple matter of if you were to go step on it right now, it might go right back because of the stabilizing factors of those muscles. So we can test it. If you want to just try like standing and just like, do like a little, I don't know, a couple jumps or something just to see if it kind of forces it back out. Yeah, see how did we get those clicks again? So now we'll see if we can pop it back in. I'll see if we can do it now. So you can do it your own way, however you want to. You can do sitting, standing, however you want to try it. Let me find that one that gets that. There it is, beautiful.
And then you should just.
Yeah, beautiful. And so we also want to do more of a pull this way because see how that gave us that rock. So it's more of a pull and then a pull out. Yeah.
Alright.
Because it's you're just like thinking about popping your knuckle, popping your wrist. It's the same concept. Because if you don't pop it consistently, you will grow a bone spur, and then the bone spur will need to have, because even people that come to me for bunions, if they've grown a huge bone spur, I can't shave down a bone spur. You have to get it shaved down, and then we can work on stabilizing it. But that obviously prevents them from getting the massive, bunion surgery. It's more of just a shaving, like a get that out of there type thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So the main things to remember are the pull, and then the out. Because and you really want to be grabbing like I guess this part, because the joint is here. You want to grab like almost like at the joint, because the goal is to pull this one down, pull this up, and then pop that in, and that's as simple as that. Nothing complicated to it. It's just let's keep it so that it doesn't get worse. So once you pop it, this is where we like if you notice, so you did a couple things that pop it in immediately. Now we put the bunion corrector on to see if we can basically, let's call it prolong that from popping back out. But obviously, if your shoes aren't going to work today, let's not put it on. I don't know if your shoes are going to function for that. But
it'll pull it out, and then
Yeah, so I mean, if it doesn't fit the foot, the best thing is to find shoes that can accommodate it, because shoes are the biggest factor that we get this too. Because your foot could basically be as wide as this. If we, but it's as narrow as this most times. And so you now have the double muscles causing the factor, plus the shoes are narrowed for this. So the three main issues are kind of causing that. So the less you can wear shoes, the better, as weird as that sounds, because it will allow you to use this one more to pull that back over. And really start the mind muscle connection that's going to be fun is trying to talk to this one. It's really it sounds silly, but it's as simple as like doing this. But we can all do that with our thumbs, but none of us can do that with our feet because we were not taught that. But I'm a big proponent of like asking God for help in this situation, because like I mean, you've got 656 muscles, and you can lift all of your fingers, but you can't really lift your toes individually because we've never trained that. So if you basically say, hey God, like I need help learning how to talk to my foot. Whether that's prayer, meditation, however that word works for you. But like, hey, I want this to not be a long-term problem. I want to solve this. I want to be proactive in my own healing process. And 99% of the time, it takes less than a week, because God will just like, here you go, here's your knowledge, use it, see how it goes. Because when you ask such specific questions, like I want to move my thing, God's like, oh, that's easy. Like you already have the tract, you already have the motor cord, you already have the spinal tract. All you gotta do is just get the junction between the muscle and the nerve again, that we